Welcome to Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm your host, James Coleman. I write at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com. Excuse me. I write at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com on personal development, spirituality, and social change. Check me out on Facebook, Inner Peace Arts 1, Twitter, Inner Peace Arts 1. That's a number 1. And this is episode 27. Today I'm going to start off on kind of where I left off last time, which is unusual. But I am going to do that today, where we're going to talk about a little bit about the connection between spirituality and personal development, and how they are distinct, and how putting them together is actually the way that we maximize our output for whatever we want to do. In this case, it's about social change, but we're not going to talk too much about that. It's just about getting the spirituality and the personal development in line, so that they are aligned, so that energetically we're able to produce the most for whatever our agenda is. So, and I'm going to broaden spiritual experience to this experience of otherworldliness. I think some people, get it when they farm, right? Some people have it when they dance. Some people will have it when, reading scriptures. Some people will have it listening to music, right? I think all of these are kinds of spiritual experiences that take us out of ourselves into some other realm of feeling that is not quote unquote normal, right? I mean, that's why for the most part you're not allowed to sing at work, which is very interesting, which I also think is a cultural problem in some ways. Like, why can't you express yourself as yourself at work? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, that's just a comment. So I'm taking this as kind of a basis for spiritual experience. And yes, it can be concentrated in, your classic kind of spiritual exercises via what I call kind of classic religion, right? Your Buddhism, Christianity, Jainism, whatever it is, right? But that's not the only way. Some people, will read this stuff and be like, oh, okay, like, I get it, but it doesn't do anything for me. So how do we take those experiences and connect them into the personal development? I think the way we do that is by, here's one way that I'm advocating, is chunking it down into smaller kind of pieces, so that you are making the connection between the personal development. So let's just say anger is an issue, right? You could have, and you have an experience where you feel light. So inside of yourself, you need to start to associate those light feelings with the feelings that are related to the cause of the anger. So basically it's taking the energy accessed by spirituality and using it to change the habit, right? And making new associations. And you do that, you do it inside your mind. You do it by thinking about the two of them in the same vein, and you make the connection. And I think that's my main point, is that connection happens inside of you. It's not an external thing, right? And I think that's the relationship, between, spirituality and psychology, right? You have a spiritual experience, but you're still, angry, right? And you can take the energy from that spiritual experience and use it to address the anger. And the anger is rooted in a bunch of thoughts. And how do you change the thoughts? You're going to change the thoughts by, recognizing the thought, arguing with the thought, using those kinds of techniques. to address that. Tracking also by just merely thinking about it and moving on, and using affirmations and all these kinds of things. And that's all well and good, but the energy to do so can be merely, oh, I want to get it done, but it can be motivated by this spirituality, which comes from a kind of not you place, and that gives it a constant stream of energy into that issue, right? So it's not just you alone, but it's you tapping into that which is not you and not another person. So I hope this is making sense. And the details, getting into the details is, outside the scope of these videos, but that's essentially what's happening and what you have to do. And facing it is the beginning. And if all you're doing is facing that challenge, that's fine. That's the place where you start. You can't even begin unless you face it, until you've started to blossom in the awareness of it. And in that awareness, you're no longer bothered by it, even though it is there and you are working to change it. You're not bothered by it, but you're still going to change it. That's how these things work. So that's where I wanted to go today. Personal development is very important, how to fix your thoughts, how to, one thing, okay, so one practical tip is tracking. Right, so you take one day, 1 week, 1 month, whatever, and you separately track. And I'm just talking just tracking. We're not trying to fix anything. Because remember, I think the fixes come via emergence. They don't come via, okay, today I'm going to be different. No, you're the way you are today because of things you've done over the past blah blah blah, right? And you're going to change because of the things you plan to do in the future, blah blah blah. So I don't take an approach of instant change. I take an approach of emergent change, and where things just all of a sudden you wake up and you seem like, wow, I can do that, or wow, I just did that. That was amazing. Kind of like learning a musical instrument, and this body is your instrument, and the mind is an instrument and a tool and a lot of things. So the practical tool I'm going to share today is tracking. Starting to track feelings separately, track thoughts separately, track behaviors, things that you do that stick out to you, and then tracking situations that you find yourself in. So thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and situations. And track them separately. So maybe 1 week you track feelings, 1 week you track thoughts, 1 week you track behaviors, 1 week you track situations. And all you're doing is tracking, and all you're doing is looking at it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. You do that, and you should find that you will see patterns. You will find that, oh, this is, for example, with feelings. Oh, I keep feeling this feeling that I can't name. And I did, and naming is very important. Maybe we'll get into that into another video. But being able to name your emotions is extremely important. So that's the practical tip at the end of this week. You could do that simple tracking probably for the rest of your life, and that could be the tool for you. So this is James Coleman, Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. Today we talked about a connection between spirituality and personal development, and using the spiritualities, the energy from spirituality, to help you energize the personal change. Check me out on Twitter, InnerPeaceArts1. InnerPeaceArts.wordpress.com is the blog. Write me at InnerPeaceArts@ProtonMail. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ciao.